cricket. The second one, I didn't really get your question clearly.
My
Something I think
question
with the
was,
Indians.
my question was that India are going to take on Australia in the opening test in Perth from November 22. So you have been a legendary spinner. We like you've been a hero for every Indian. So so is Team India going to miss Kuldeep Yadav in the series?
Yeah, I think the series is going to be a real tight affair. Always going to be some good cricket being played there. I think the Australian side always has some high quality Test cricketers within there, and they've shown over the last few years that they're always going to compete. So actually, all eyes are on that series and Gautam Gambhir, how he goes about it as now the head coach, and it's an interesting one always to watch and how India will go about how they will handle those pace bowlers and how they play it. In Australia is always going to come with your Cummins and them all at them, and that's going to be a real tough affair to handle.
Vishesh Roy from the Hindustan Times, please go ahead with your question.
Hi, Paul. My first question to you would be regarding SA20. This is the first time that an Indian player in the form of Dinesh Karthik would be playing in the tournament. So, how do you see this signing, and do you think the grow would grow more in India because of this signing? And the second question would be that you have played against India in the past, and their players have been very good against spin. So, how do you see the uh, struggle against spinners of the Indian batters right now?
Yeah, I think look. With DK playing at, I think he's at Paul Royals, it's going to be real great in terms of spectatorship, in terms of India's interest as well. Already ownerships of the franchises are IPL, so it's important that lead into and make sure, and we see Indian players coming into other leagues. In the past, we haven't seen that happen. But DK, he's been a great ambassador for the game, a good character as well. So I think he'll lend a lot of positivity and also his knowledge and how he goes about his game to the domestic players here in South Africa. Then Indian side playing the spin. I thought the South Africa bowled really well as Keshav, and then also the blooding young Ngaba Peter against the Indian side now in the T20s. But I think both sides have really struggled against the spin. So it's been a battle of the batters type of vibe. So it's making sure that it's just conditions are quite good. And I think the quality of spinners that are out there has really been good to see, the resurgence of the spin taking the fall. I'm quite excited to keep watching and seeing that spinners play a leading role in winning games for teams.
Pratyay Tiwari from Cricket Tracker, please go ahead with the question.
Hi, Paul. Hope you are doing good. My question to you regarding SA20 is that multiple IPL franchises have their stake in SA20 teams. They are sort of sister franchises. And Cricket South Africa had their stint with running T20 tournaments, a couple of those in the past, which unfortunately did not work out or were not as great a success as the SA20 has become. What do you think? How much of a role has the IPL franchises involvement in SA20 as stakeholders has played its part in the tournament success? How much do you attribute to that?
Yeah, I think it plays a big role. Having IPL teams as part of ownership, they bring a lot of their resources and as well as their expertise. I think managing a team within a high-profile tournament is important, and then also and how they go about it. You can see it clearly in terms of how they create fan engagements, creating their own identity within each city. And it's been absolutely amazing how quickly people have really latched on to their home sides and just created this whole vibe about that this is the big tournament within Cricket South Africa, and you can clearly see it from the viewership and as well as the quality of pros that are coming over as well to play in the tournament. And I think also a great thing is the timing of when SA20 gets played. Gets played here in the January period, February, the weather's really great, and also in holiday period, so young cricketers and that can really get to see their heroes out on the cricket field.
Sahil Mathur from Sportstar, please go ahead with your question.
Hi, Paul. My question is related to the SA20 and how they have set up camps for the under 19 schools, and they're playing a lot of tournaments with the school children. And you have also been part of, like, you have also been coaching them for so. And now that you are also part of the Women's T20 World Cup team also for South Africa. So what kind of what was how do you differentiate between coaching a school and like talking to a school student who has just come at the grassroots level and to a senior player? How do you differentiate the coaching with that?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question in terms of managing players of different age groups and also level of player. I think it comes with experience, coaching at highest level, understanding what it takes to play at the top. Then it's coaching down below at the younger group of players and understanding where they are in their journey. And then you just want to try and how do you bridge the gap between that? How do you create a journey where they're always learning and how they always developing their skills in the game. So you've got to have the end picture in mind of how it needs to look so that you know the goal and how the road needs to, what road they need to travel to get there. So having been years now involved in coaching and making sure that you get to know each one down at wherever they are and journey with them through their skill. And it's all about how the player can develop and develop their skill to be able to compete at the best in the world. And once you can know that, and you can grasp what sort of timeline or how quickly the player can get onto that.
Avinash Sharma from MyKale, please go ahead with the question.
Hi, Paul.
Hi.
Yeah. So I'll start the international cricket and then I'll go to SA20. So my question to you is, we've seen in the last 20 or 30 years, if you look at the quality of spin bowling has, in a way, I mean, it has evolved, but we don't see good batters of spin these days, whether it comes to India, Australia, South Africa, or New Zealand, wherever you go. I mean, there's a decline in the class of batters who used to counter spin bowling very well. Is this because they are not practicing a lot against spinners? Or so what is it according to you? What's the main reason for it?
Look, I got no complaints that the spinners are playing a big role. And look, in T20, it's about being positive. And I've always of a philosophy when batters are looking to play aggressive against you, it's you got to turn it around and make it an opportunity and not really fear that. And I think spinners these days understand that they're going to get hit or batters are going to go aggressive up against them. And they've managed to have the subtleties, the subtle changes and the accuracy and their game has really come up. And that's more in the T20 front of things. When it comes to test match cricket and all of those, it's a different kettle of fish. It's like if you look in the era when I played back in 95, 96, you'll see wrist spinners all playing test cricket, and now you don't really see the wrist spinners playing test cricket. They're playing T20 and one-day stuff. So it's almost like a swap around that happened in the formats. It's more around getting bowlers that T20 batters cannot line up or look to understand which way the ball's going. And you found that over the years, and you've got different bowlers bowling different ways of how they do get the ball to turn in or away, and trying to be as subtle in their variations as they can.
Okay, so my second question is on the way we've seen the growth of Gerald Coetzee. He's been Gerald Coetzee. The way he's been bowling, he's turning out to be one of the quality all-rounder for South Africa. So what are your thoughts on him?
Just repeat the name.
Gerald.
Gerald Coetzee.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Gerald's been around here, played from the under-19 system all the way through, always able to contribute as well with the bat. And his innings the other night was absolutely amazing, coming in, taking a pressure immediately off Tristan Stubbs. So having a player like that down the order, and also South Africa to be able to have the batting depth these days within their T20 setup is important. It allows batters to continue to keep going hard, and also that you got to understand that the game's never finished. Gone are the days of that. You got to make sure that you got length in your batting, and you be able to have batters down the order that can clear the ropes. And you saw what Gerald is capable of.